It's a beautiful morning, Wednesday morning on Splash 105.5 FM. It's the 29th day in the month of March 2023. And welcome to the conversation. It's the concluding part of the program today. Bimniyu Bileye on Facebook earlier this morning wrote, "They have us where they want us discussing subsidy." They said, "I chose never to be boxed into that corner. Rather, I will talk about why for over 20 years none of our refineries have worked. Shouldn't we be talking about the mega money sunk into those behemoths across administrations? That should be our focus, not subsidy, because there is nothing really a subsidy but a mega fraud, sunk money for the cabals feasting on our flesh." Thank you, Bemniyo Bileye. I mean, those were scathing words that we need to think about as Nigerians. Now, you see, a lot of Nigerians believe that government has to bring back the refineries at Port Harcourt, Kaduna, and Warri. But Bemniyo Bileye, like I've always said, he said we should be thinking about those who had profited from this moribund refineries. Or they say we should not use the word moribund about these refineries. You need to go check how much we have spent on those refineries, the timelines that have been given to us about those refineries, and yet we've not seen anything coming up from there. I recall that Mele Kyari said so much about the fact that the refineries will be upstream. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, said so much about the coming of upstream of these refineries. All sort of promises, different timelines, different promises about these refineries. But where are they? You see, if you have not, I'm hopeful about Nigeria, but I've lost faith in our ability as a country to run these refineries. It doesn't look like we are going to be able to run refineries in Nigeria. Now, shouldn't we be looking at some arrangement with private sector's entities to run these refineries? Shouldn't we even sell them off to those who will be able to run them? The model where civil servants are running our refineries is no longer a functional idea. It's no longer an idea fit for this century. So, shouldn't government be walking away from running these refineries? As I said before, we've had, or we still have, staff of these refineries. We have people who are being promoted, who are working at these refineries, that are not giving us value for money. All those staff who have been earning promotions for doing nothing should be processed out of that refinery. So NNPC Limited will become leaner for the works ahead of this agency. Isn't that something that we should be thinking about? Do you agree that we need to do something about these refineries? What should be done to them? How about also looking back, flipping back to those turnaround maintenance, they say call them TAMs, the kind of huge amount of money that we have spent on turnaround maintenance of our refineries. You know, refineries in Nigeria, when are they coming upstream? That's what Nigerians have been talking about. But do you think they will ever come upstream? You know, and the turnaround maintenance that we have done on them, who will answer for this? Who will answer for this turnaround maintenance? You know, who? We'll talk about them right now. So I want you to look at these issues. By the time we buy fuel for 400 naira, if somebody told me that it won't be 400 naira, that it will be 450 naira a liter, what will become of food prices? Sometime 4 months ago, they said Nigeria expects to stop importing petroleum products before or around the third quarter of 2023. That was a promise by Minister of Petroleum Resources, Chief Timmy Silva. He said by the third quarter of 2023, we will stop importing petroleum products. Reuters quoted Silva saying that a refurbished refinery in the city of Port Harcourt in the oil-producing Niger Delta will be delivering 60,000 barrels per day of refined crude by the end of December. That was last year. The minister, who was said to have spoken in Abuja, also said he expects the new Dangote refinery to come on stream in the first quarter of 2023. So this is March. That expectation, is it still real? Now, aside the Port Harcourt facility, work, they say, has barely started at the Warri and Kaduna refineries, which Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited has said will make the country a net exporter of petroleum products when they come on stream. Although the Warri refinery is expected to be active by December 2023, the Kaduna refinery has no definite time for activity resumption, and only the Port Harcourt refinery will be ready by Q3 2023. According to projections. So the projection is saying by the third quarter of 2023, that's when the refinery will come upstream. Yet we are going to remove the subsidy by June. Like they say on the street, are we playing? What kind of playing is this? Okay, so I'm going to go through some things that I feel that we need to be thinking about. Now, when we buy fuel at 400 naira a litre or 450 naira a litre, one thing I'm sure of is inflation. Nigeria today runs a semblance of market economy, and prices are determined by the interaction of demand and supply. That's the simple economy that we know. Now, that is what they call the ideal state of situations. But in reality, economists will tell us that markets are imperfect. And some powerful people in any market seem to know a lot more about the market, as well as what will be happening. In a country like Nigeria, there are insider information, and people deal in this insider information. But have you seen anyone who is punished because of insider information? Maybe 2009, when people manipulated the stock market, and that scandal led to a crash of the stock market. It means that with the likelihood of price increase that will come with fuel subsidy removal, not all of the inflation will be due to strict interaction of market forces. And so some people will begin to manipulate the prices. Who will deal with these evil minds? As it pertains to crude oil and related products, in 2011, the House of Representatives had to obtain the Lloyd's Register to find out that since decommissioned ships were claimed to have supplied premium motor spirits to Nigeria, there exists a lot of pranks in that sector, which must be curbed. So who will curb the pranks in that sector? Let me bring up one of the pranks. Oil theft. You remember the paparazzi around oil theft last year? How much we were stealing our oil. They took cameras to the creeks, showed us how they are siphoning crude oil from the creeks. After that paparazzi, what else did you hear? Tell me, what else did you hear? But the government is insisting on removing fuel subsidy without solving that problem. And then Bosun asked me, what can the people do? So I reminded myself of that song, If You Ask Me. Now, well, we can't ask. But I'm asking you, what can the people do? 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. All right. One other thing that I think we are yet to do, that we also have to do, and that we do not take adequate cognizance of, is that why are our government at the subnational level not providing us with metro transportation, public transportation? Is it a rocket science? Why is rail transport more expensive than even the road transport? If you're going from Ibadan to Lagos, and you want to go and take a train ride, you know how much you take a train ride. How much is a taxi from Challenge to Lagos? But how much is a train ride from Oluwaseun Akinola train station to Lagos? Okay, let's see. Someone is on this line. Let's see who is here. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Adekola Adewiji.
Adekola, welcome.
Yeah. You see, the issue revolving around the subsidy is this. Subsidy is a cancer that must go. But the problem is there any palliative to cushion the effects? That's what we should work on. If we have a responsible government that are ready to work for the masses, for the common man in Nigeria, I think they need to just work on a transport system, public transport system. That is what is obtainable in the Western world. If they can work on that, I think the common man won't feel the pain too much. Well, if that is not there, I don't think it won't have a ripple effect on the common man. We need to work on our public transport system. But sincerely, your subsidy must go because it's a cancer. It avenue to make money for some people. Even the common man, we are not benefiting from the subsidy because how many liters of petrol I'm using in a day? No, it's only these people that are benefiting from it. So subsidy is a cancer that must go. And the media houses will need to sensitize people on this. Should we do this? The common man will be able to understand. But subsidy is a cancer that must go. Or government should give us palliative to cushion the effects. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we are talking about palliatives, and he's saying subsidy is a cancer that must go. But I've been asking that question. Have we seen government that have tried to give us palliatives in the sense of palliatives or cushion the effect of this subsidy regime? Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yeah,
what's the name, sir? Where are you calling me from?
Calling from Oluwaseun.
Welcome.
You see, I did this for our on radio attention. When we talk about subsidy removal and what have you, any government that wants to remove any subsidy should have thought of the pay or whatever the outcome on the people. This is 2023. I think we've been struggling with subsidies since the 90s. And the government ought to have done something, either building a new refinery or revamping the ones that are on ground. Now you are considering removing the subsidy and trying to introduce palliative. I don't think things work like that. You have to, if you want to withdraw any subsidy on anything, you should have made a label what will stop subsidy henceforth. There is no palliative that you want to give that will go through all that are involved in the use of this petroleum product. There's no way. I mean, you want to introduce any palliative to how many people? Is the palliative going to work with the poor masses? But if the government is serious of removing its subsidy, the government also have built refineries, or turn around the ones that we had. Not that they will be mounting, they are going to remove subsidy into this palliative. It doesn't work like that. I am of the opinion that if it will cost the government trillions of dollars to either build new refineries or to import petroleum products to these people until they could do that, then they can start thinking of subsidy withdrawal. It's unfair to Nigerians. God bless you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining me, and I'm happy for all that you've said. I'm on live Facebook. You can join me on Splash FM 105.5. You can join me right there, and let's have this conversation. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Shem.
Thank you for joining me.
Yes,
welcome, Charles.
Okay, why do we have this problem in the country? It's because of bad followership. You see, even in advanced countries, the leaders are open to do what is wrong. Because you have people on ground who are always ready to checkmate them. And that's why you see that the leaders will retreat their steps, any wrong they want to do. You see, in Nigeria, we have imbibed a culture of corruption and indiscipline. And I think you are asking one question about if we should sell the refineries, if I'm correct. Now, even the NEPA that we sold, is it effective now? Those companies that we sell it to, are they effective now? They are not effective. You see, until we have attitudinal change and character reformation, if we can't manage a refinery, then what do you want to manage? Okay, why don't you sell the country? Because it's obvious we could not even manage the country. Could we manage the country after independence? No. So we can sell the country as well if we are going to sell our if up to this stage we cannot manage an ordinary refinery, then we have a problem in our country. Now, what is the way forward? Now, if we want to holistically look at the situation, we will see that we are just coming out from the problem of this cashless policy. People are just recovering from that shock. So I don't think it will be sensible for any sensible government when you come and you now immediately remove subsidy. Because you are going to, because you are going to really face a serious revolt from the people.
Okay.
What I would advise the incoming government is, the government will wait for like 6 months. See, that 6 months is to fix our refineries. See, the realistic solution to that problem is for us to refine our fuel in the country. That is just, even if you are talking of palliatives, we know what happened during COVID-19. Those palliatives, what happened to them? Some government officials even hoard them. They didn't give it to people. That's why people were breaking their warehouse to go and take those things. So the realistic thing is, let us refine our petroleum products here. Only I don't know when Dangote refinery will come on board. I don't know if it will come. I don't know when it's coming. Do you know when it's coming on board? Dangote refinery.
I don't work there. I mean, they've told us that it was going to come on board last year. It didn't. So, I mean, I can't give you a definitive date.
I only hope it come on board as early as possible. So, if the government can give like 6 months and do not debate the issue extensively in a way that it will not affect it, because whether you like it or not, it's the masses that suffer.
Okay. Okay, Charles.
Today, we are the ones that suffer.
Thank you, Charles.
They have to debate it extensively, and the National Assembly should look into it so that the masses will not be the one that will suffer the brunt. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm looking at the story now. Investigation, 12 trillion naira spent on subsidy refineries in 7 years, and says that is even enough for a new plant. The 12.05 trillion naira spent by the federal government on maintenance and rehabilitation of refineries, as well as fuel subsidy in 7 years, is more than enough to build a brand new 650,000 barrels per stream day refinery, another 325,000 barrels per stream day refinery. That's coming for an investigation from Daily Trust. Now, over time, the refineries had guzzled billions of naira in the name of upkeep and yet could not produce any refined oil for domestic consumption. The three refineries have a combined 445,000 barrels per day capacity. We know that. Now, sadly, a large chunk of dollars accrued to Nigeria is being used to import the refined oil for domestic use. The collective failure of the refineries had forced the oil-rich Nigeria to depend on imported refined petroleum products for exporting the crude. Now, by the end of 2022 fiscal year, the federal government spent 12.05 trillion naira since 2015 on refineries repairs and fuel subsidies. And that is coming from data sourced from Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited. While 7.9 trillion naira is on petrol subsidy, another 4.15 trillion naira went for maintaining and rehabilitating the three refineries since 2015. 4.15 trillion naira. And nothing is coming out of that. Let that sink. I'll return in a moment. Stay with us.
ẹ̀yin ọmọ yìí ó máa dá àkàrà nǹkan díẹ̀ sílẹ̀ fún Ramadan yìí. ó yá kí ni kára.
èso. ewébẹ̀ ẹ má gbàgbé ìṣara lóore àwọn màmá o 3 crowns milk.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni agolo mílìkì 3 crowns mẹ́ta.
rárá o 6.
ó dáa torí pé ó jẹ́ màmá ara agolo mílìkì 3 crowns mẹ́jọ.
ìṣúra aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ làwọn màmá torí náà fẹ̀mí ìmoore hàn sí màmá pẹ̀lú 3 crowns milk lákòókò Ramadan yìí.
3 crowns milk ìlera àwọn màmá ayọ̀ ẹbí.
The Giants are here and now. Watch as the powerhouses on the biggest roof battle for the fame, the glory, and $100,000. It's intrigue, it's romance, gossips, and the big drama. It's 24/7 Niger and Saudi sets to take over your screen. Tune in to Big Brother Titan, showing on DSTV 198 and Africa Magic. Get DSTV and download my DSTV app to reconnect today. Big Brother Titans is rated 18. Headline sponsored Bamboo, Flutterwave, and Lotus Star.
So special to us, golden morn. So special to us. I cannot go a day without this goodness in a bowl, giving energy to make it stay golden. Golden morn. So special to us.
eléyìí fún Yakubu, èyí fún Rasaki, fún Ahmed, fún Aisha, fún Khadija, fún.
Brahimo, ṣé o tún ti tó oúnjẹ ni? Kí ni gbogbo oúnjẹ yìí wà fún?
wò ó Taofeek, mo ti pinnu láti wọ inú oṣù Ramadan yìí lọ́nà ọ̀tun nípa pípín oúnjẹ sínú peak yogurt drink pẹ̀lú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi aláàwẹ̀.
èrò tó dáa nìyẹn. ìtọrẹ àánú dára gan-an ni.
òdodo ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ gba ìtura lákọ̀tun nínú Ramadan yìí pẹ̀lú peak yogurt drink tó ní àkọ̀tun wàrà màlúù nínú.
Peak. Reach for your peak. Everyone loves an upgrade, but with DSTV, you get boosted to a whole new level. Upgrade to more football and get boosted to the most heart-racing sports moments. Upgrade to your favorite shows and get boosted to emotions like never before. Upgrade to the best action movies and get boosted to high-octane scenes that make you shout, woo!
Upgrade your DSTV package and DSTV will boost you to the next higher package. Offer valid from January 25th to March 31st. Terms and conditions apply.
Every day's a good day when you've got what it takes. Cowbell evaporated milk gives your body what it needs. Ain't nourish no. Happy Cowbell day, creamy goodness so.
Cowbell evaporated milk is delicious milk that is carefully formulated to retain its creaminess and great taste.
So creamy, so good.
Cowbell evaporated milk, so creamy, so good. Cowbell.
My people, no let new naira and cashless matter worry you. Hope Bank dey your phone, 500 naira a week day. So if you want send mama money, abi to buy Amaka recharge card, to give customer money, abi customer wan give you money. Hope dey your phone, 500 naira a week day. My people, your phone number na ATM card and account number oh.
Yes, so enjoy better life with Hope Wallet. Dial *569*9# on your phone. Select Open Wallet. Put your details and fiam, your wallet does set. Hope PS Bank go sama you 500 naira a woof. Terms and conditions dey. Hope, succeed. Hope Bank always.
Ramadan tó ti dé, ó yá ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ rìnrìn àjò lọ sáwọn ilé oúnjẹ ìgbàlódé tó yáàyè níbi tẹ́ ẹ ti gbádùn ara yín ní sáà oṣù Ramadan yìí. Àkọ́kọ́ ibẹ̀ ní ilé oúnjẹ àánú níbi tí pípé ti ṣe pàtàkì. Nítorí náà ẹ máa fi fún ni. Èyí tó tẹ̀lé ní ilé oúnjẹ ọrẹ. Nítorí náà ẹ máa jẹ́ onínúure tòótọ́. Èyí tó gbẹ̀yìn ni pé kó o dúró lójúnà ìdáríjì kó o sì jọ̀wọ́ gbogbo ìkùnsínú. Ní àkókò àsùbá àti ṣínú kó ire wọlé pẹ̀lú adùn náà. Lóṣù Ramadan yìí má kàn jẹun lásán nìkan, pín ìgbádùn yìí kó o sì wà ní ìdára náà. Jẹun fún ìdára.
Àti ṣí o, àti ń ta o.
ṣọ́ọ̀bù alálùbáríkà tèmídìrẹ ultra modern market gbági market extension.
Golden Bricks Realty and Investment Limited àjọṣepọ̀ pẹ̀lú ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tó ti ṣàṣeyọrí tó lóòrìn. tèmídìrẹ ultra modern market and shopping mall ọjà gbági tuntun phase 2 wẹ́mà ìwó road Ìbàdàn àti ṣí àti ń tàwọn shops yẹn báyìí o. bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́jà títà ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ ní pẹ́rẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ra sọ lálá àǹkárá lẹ́sì gíní báàgì àti bàtà ṣọ́ọ̀bù tẹ́ ti lè rọ ń jíjẹ wa ń bẹ́ pẹ̀lú. ìjọba ló allocate ẹ̀ ààbò tó gbogbo ń bẹ́ ń bẹ́ tọ̀sẹ̀ tó rú wọ́n gbẹ́ bọ́ ò síbẹ̀ wọ́n tún kọ́lé ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni láti ti yípo bẹ̀ ó tóbi ó pọ̀ ó fẹ́ ó yẹ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fẹ́ rẹ́ǹtì ní abẹ́ fẹ́ ra ṣọ́ọ̀bù èyí náà gé tètè lọ gba fọ́ọ̀mù báyìí ní Ministry of Trade and Investment room 56 Secretariat Ìbàdàn wà láyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ẹ pè 08028834320 àrètí yín lọ́jà tèmídìrẹ gbági tuntun ìlú Ìbàdàn.
Splash FM.
Welcome back. It's still Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. We're looking for solution to our problems as a nation, Nigeria. Fem Ike on Facebook says, sell off all refineries 100% to private players, ditto for all discos. Allow the forces of demand and supply to control the price. Efficient players will come in to build refineries. Short-term pain, long-term gain. Government can leverage the NNPC service stations to support the lower class. Whoever can join the queue can go there. Whoever does not want to join the queue should patronize others. So this is a very simple problem that has been complicated by politics. Now, I'll paint a bit of picture and then I'll go back to the phone lines. An analysis of 4.15 trillion naira refinery spending shows that 1.47 trillion naira was spent on maintaining, revamping, and running the three refineries from 2015 to June 2020. And tell me, what did we get from this revamping, running of the refineries? The government in August 2021 announced $6.46 billion. That's about 2.68 trillion naira spending for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt, old and new, and $1.5 billion. That's about 622.9 billion naira for Warri Refinery at $900 million. That's 373.8 billion naira. And Kaduna Refinery, $1.3 billion. That's about 540 billion naira. And for taking 20% shares in Dangote Refinery project, $2.76 billion. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, in April 2022, said $1.5 billion rehabilitation work for the old refinery will be completed by April 2023. This is the end of March 2023. That future that he was talking about sometime in 2022, in April 2022, he was saying that by April 2023, the refinery will be upstream and working. Now, I will take that again. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, in April 2022, said the 1.5 rehabilitation work for the old Port Harcourt refinery will be completed by April 2023. This is the end of March, and it will start refining 60,000 barrels per day of crude oil, though the entire complex has 210,000 barrels per day capacity. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Kola calling once again.
Welcome, Kola.
Yeah, this is my take regarding the three refinery at the moment. I think it's high time government need to privatize this refinery, because if we continue wasting money on them, this is the money that we can use for another purpose, even for public air transport. If we just extend those money to public transport, it means a lot. So we can't continue spending on this moribund refinery. And they should sell it and let private company run it. If they should do that, you will see changes in that. So it's high time government should hand off about all this refinery. You should sell them off. That's bitter truth.
Thank you. Thank you, Kola. Now, Kola said we should sell them off. Do you think we should sell them off? Now, let me say this. At the moment, the 3 refineries in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Warri, Delta State, and Kaduna in Kaduna State, with a combined capacity of 445,000 barrels per day capacity, are nearly inoperative. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
This is Lori from Mapata.
Mr. Lori, welcome. Let's do this quickly.
Thank you. Hopefully, it's a very good thing. When we call it cancerous, like people have been saying, that's a great line. It now depends on how you run or you manage it. But in the case of Nigeria, we have leaders who are not or having in-depth of policy before they push it out. Before you put a policy out or you think of things to public, you should have think of what would be the average effect or the good side of it. The way we don't have leaders like Baba Obafemi Awolowo and co, who have seen pictures. If you do this, what will happen? And if you don't do this, what will happen? If you remember during Jonathan, what makes subsidy lower than what? They are doing good oil swap with those who are bringing in fuel for us. Immediately this government came in, they abolished it. That is why the price and the amount of subsidy go into triple. So what I think that can solve the problem is having leaders who can think right for us, because we cannot all be in government. Thank you.
Thank you for that. All right, so we'll still take more calls. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. What are your thoughts on this particular issue this morning? I'd like to read from you and I'd like to hear your thoughts. Fem Ike, thank you for your comment. So I'm hoping to hear your thoughts on these issues. 0809 155 1055. Well, okay, someone is there. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Alhaji Chief Suleiman Oladipo Bolanewa.
Welcome, Alhaji.
Well, thank you. See, this is the time we should be very, very careful. At this moment, I would have wished the new government takes off before we start talking of refineries and whatever I want to do, because this current government with me has failed, and I don't know what they can do that will make Nigeria better. These all are the refineries. Say the hope is in the new government. Everybody is looking up to the new government to do the needful. Say if they will not want to say they want to sell the Nigerian asset, I don't know if selling the asset will make Nigeria better, because what the government has been running, they have not been able to reform all the refineries to make it yield good dividends for Nigerians. They now wish to sell to private individuals who have the capacity to buy it, like Dangote. We should be wary of this very government. Let this government go, and the new one comes, then we cannot debate. Thank you, Ocean.
Thank you, Alhaji Bolanewa. Now, there are 18 oil-producing countries in Africa based on March 2022 data by Trading Economics, a global market website. Nigeria is the largest of them in Africa, with 1,238,000,000 barrels per day oil production, 1.238 million barrels per day production, overtaking Libya of 1.220 million barrels per day. Now, Angola is the third, Algeria is fourth, and Egypt is fifth. The rest have less than 500,000 barrels per day oil production each, now comprising Congo DR, Gabon, Ghana, Equatorial Guinea, Sudan, Chad, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Tunisia, Congo, Brazzaville, and Niger Republic. According to the McKinsey refinery capacity document, the database of 2020 said there were over 600 operating refineries around the world as at the beginning of 2017. As at 2020, 20 African countries had refineries, with some countries having more than one. The McKinsey data revealed that at Antwerp City in Belgium hosts the 3 refineries with 767,000 barrels per day that Nigeria patronizes. So we put our money in Belgium. These Belgian refineries are owned by ExxonMobil with 307,000 barrels per day, Total 350,000 barrels per day, and Gunvor 110,000 barrels per day. And both Mobil and Total are international oil companies, IOCs, wait for it, operating in Nigeria in a joint venture with the NNPC Limited. But they have operational, functional refineries in Belgium. Why not in Nigeria? Why don't they have functional refineries in Nigeria? In Africa, Morocco does not produce oil but has a 200,000 barrels per day refinery. Same with Zambia, with no oil but has 12,000 barrels per day refinery. Although Egypt is the 5th oil producer, it has 9 refineries with 800,000 barrels per day, being the largest refinery capacity in Africa. Algeria, the 4th largest African oil producer, has 5 refineries refining 671,000 barrels per day. And Libya, the 2nd producer, also have 5 refineries with 380,000 barrels per day. Angola, the 3rd largest African oil producer, has 1 but operational refinery of 65,000 barrels per day. Niger Republic, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Liberia's combined oil producing capacity is less than half of Nigeria's oil producing capacity. Yet they each have operational refinery. But Nigeria, and we're thinking about holding onto the mirage of Dangote refinery. The 650,000 barrels per day Dangote refinery in Lagos is expected to go up $19 billion, about 7.894 trillion naira when completed. Somebody's on the line. Let me listen to who is here. Hello, good morning.
Sorry, I had to call back because of this analysis you just read. Look at these countries you just read out with refineries. Some don't even have crude oil.
Yes.
So what does it tell us? It tells us that what is causing our problem is corruption and indiscipline. We can manage our refineries. We can manage it. Let us remove corruption and discipline from our system, from our life. We'll be able to do this. These things can work. Why are we making it to look as if we can't work? So it doesn't mean we cannot manage anything. And that is what is reflecting in our country, that we cannot even manage our country. Let us copy all these countries that have good examples so that we can have a good country. Thank you.
Thank you. Looking at these examples, it's demoralizing that Nigeria is not in this picture. Nigeria is never in this kind of a picture. Experts have said that the federal government could have channeled the nearly 12 trillion naira fund it had expended on the 3 moribund refineries and subsidies to build 2 refineries with 975,000 barrels per day combined refining capacity. The first refinery will be 650,000 barrels per day, like Dangote's gulping 7.9 trillion naira, while the second will be, say, 325,000 barrels per day refinery costing 3.95 trillion naira. And this will be a combined cost of 11.85 trillion naira, which is less than the 12.05 trillion naira the government has expended on the refinery and subsidy spending in 7 years analysis. Femi Ike is back on Facebook. He said, refinery business is very low margin business. It can only be properly managed by efficient private sector players. People refer to Saudi, India, and so on. Many of those are majorly privatized. Reality is that you need many players to come into that space, but the returns must be attractive. Hence, price control is a problem. Dangote Refinery will not solve the problem. We need many more. That's coming from Femi Ike. And good morning, Mr. Sheon. That's Emmanuel Adetola Peculiar. In my opinion, sir, if government will be removing subsidy, it should help us improve our electricity and make sure the refineries are working. That's a submission. All right, so I'll have to go now. This analysis will continue, and we'll continue to look at these issues more and more. But today I've been able to expose to you that if IOCs, this international oil companies working in Nigeria, have refineries in Belgium and other parts of the world, why can't they have these refineries in Nigeria? It's a good question to ask, Well, thank you for being part of the program this morning. Ali, thank you, and everyone who's contributed to this program. Thank you for being there. I'm Oluwaseun Akinola. As I always say, may Nigeria survive.
Splash FM 105.5.
Hello, my dear, beautiful, and amazing people. Hope you are doing great and hope you are having an amazing time. You guys, guess what? Time flies when you're having a blast. You already know, right? Exactly. So, why not live in the moment and make the most out of it? And lucky for us, you guys, DSTV has got our backs with a ton of entertainment options to cater to our every mood. My football fanatics, are you ready for the English Premier League? I know you are. You don't want to miss the big weekend clash when Man City takes on Liverpool live on Super Sport Premier League at 12:30 p.m. this Saturday. So, get ready